Yo, what the heck is up, guys? It's your boy G Whiz,
And it's your boy T. Boogie.
and today we're bringing you those Week 3 NFL picks. Man, we had a banger on Thursday night, man, with San Francisco 49ers absolutely rolled the New York Giants 30-12. I mean, Boogie, what did you see from this one?
I saw a New York Giants offense that just cannot get out of its own way. The O line looks dysfunctional. It looks like they just can't get anything done without Saquon and Barkley present. Daniel Jones looks scared out there. There's a Twitter page I follow called like Art But Sports, and they take clips from sports games and put them next to pieces of art. And like I think they put it next to like the Scream or something like that when he was looking at the San Francisco defensive line. He just looks scared shitless out there. And I mean, you gotta hand it to San Francisco and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy must be the most faithful man on planet Earth because he puts that ball out there with no regard for human life, no regard for whether there's somebody available or not. He just figures somebody will get out there and catch it. And by God, he was right.
Yeah, no shit, especially when you got guys like Deebo Samuel who really had a night. I think he had like 120, a buck 20 something, touchdown, 7 receptions. Then you had George Kittle who had 6 or 7 receptions himself for damn near 100 yards. Brandon Ayuk wasn't even playing, and they were still turning up. Homies, I just want to apologize for the quality of my video. We're having some technical difficulties, but can't seem to figure it out, but I will. I promise you that. Furthermore, Boogie, when we're looking at this San Francisco team, I mean, is there really anything you can see that can stop these guys, or is this just kind of what we're going to see for the rest of the season?
This is looking like an easy, 16-1 season for the San Francisco 49ers. They'll probably drop a game or two here or there because it's the NFL, but I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine. They built this team the right way. They put so many first-round picks into the D-line. And unlike the Washington Commanders, it actually worked out for them. They have a very functional defense. Functional, by that I mean they have a stellar defense. And then on the offensive side, they just have too many skill players at too many important positions who are the best in the business. Brock Purdy, by the grace of God or by the grace of luck, he's able to put it out there. He's able to deliver the ball where it needs to go. He's just enough of a quarterback to be able to probably be the perfect quarterback for Shanahan's system. Just get the ball out and let the skill players get after it. As long as they don't have the Shanahan curse of starting strong but tailing off at the end, this team could go all the way, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. I couldn't agree with you more. Another team that definitely has the potential to go all the way is going to be the Baltimore Ravens, who are continuing their easy schedule, going up against the Indianapolis Colts at home. Baltimore is favored by 8. That's tough. 8 in the NFL is tough. I mean, Gardner Minshew showed that he could play ball. I mean, yikes, dude. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take Baltimore to win, but I'm gonna take Indianapolis to cover here. I think that Indy's defense has been playing really well. They gave Trevor Lawrence some problems when they played them. Of course, when they played Houston, I get it. But, you've got, damn, you're already rolling me out. But no, we've got, I guess what's unique about this situation is, of course, Anthony Richardson is out with his concussion, so he is not going to be playing this weekend. Baltimore is still without a lot of starters on the offensive side of the ball, mostly on that line. And Indy's been getting a lot of good pressure. So, man, I don't know. I think, yeah, man, I'm definitely going to go Baltimore. Baltimore's definitely going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana got like a garbage time touchdown with Gardner Minshew. And they really pulled within 8. Boogie?
So for this game, we're looking at 7 players out for the Ravens, including OBJ, Marlon Humphrey, Justice Hill, the running back, Tyler Linderbaum, the center, Odafe Owe, the linebacker, Ronnie Staley, the tackle, and Marcus Williams, the safety. So even more players out than last week. And meanwhile,
Jesus.
the weather is 68 degrees with a 55% chance for rain. Heavy rain over the weekend will make for poor field conditions. There will be drop passes, there'll be fumbles, and there'll be broken plays. Um, so all these conditions, I don't know. It's kind of a toss up because
Yeah.
the Ravens got it done against a very competent Bengals team, a very good defense last week with players out, but they have even more players out this week. But the conditions also favor the Baltimore's style of play because Gardner Minshew, of course, he's a gunslinger. He's going to put it out there. And if the conditions are sloppy, then there's going to be some drop passes and there's going to be some dumb interceptions that's going to come off of that. Um, but at the same time, um, Lamar Jackson is still uh, less dynamic as a passer than you would expect. And these conditions will go against his favor as well. So I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest. This is a game that has the lowest ticket amount in the NFL as of today. $16 is the lowest ticket price you can get for this game. So it's
Wow.
going to be a sloppy one. I think -8 for this kind of game is just too many points. I think they're over unders in the low 40s. So I'm also going to go Baltimore to win, but Indy to cover.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's a good play there, man. You want to talk about a sloppy game? Let's talk about Tennessee, who's going to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is favored by -3.5, which I don't know why. I'm not going to go against Mike Vrabel, who really seemed to have it figured out against the Chargers last weekend, who have a much more prominent passing attack than what Cleveland has. And with the absence of Nick Chubb, are we going to see Jerome Ford, or are we going to see Kareem Hunt? I mean, I don't know, right?
Kareem Hunt is in the building, and they're saying he's going to get snaps.
He is. Well, I mean, he signed a 1 year deal, so I would assume he would play. And yeah, he's going to get snaps. But what does that actually mean? Is he going to show us how dynamic he used to be? I guess when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think so. But is he going to, I don't know, provide more of a dynamic feel out there than Jerome Ford? Yeah, probably. But here's the deal is that Tennessee is one of the best run defenses in the league. So I,
Mhm.
I don't know, unless they can get some play action going, if Deshaun uses his legs, if I don't know, man. There's too many ifs. Deshaun looked like as soon as Nick Chubb went out last week, he looked confused out there. He was not making good decisions. They were rolling until they weren't. Okay, and that's highly concerning for me, especially he was a top five quarterback like 3 or 4 years ago, and now he kind of looks like confused out there. Okay, Chris Sims said it best on his Unbuttoned podcast. He said that like the look in Deshaun's eyes, it's just a feeling you get as like a fellow quarterback in the league. He's just like, nah, he's not feeling it. And I gotta trust that. Okay. So I'm gonna go Tennessee all the way here. I think their stout defense comes up. I think that Ryan Tannehill is going to make some questionable throws to Traylon Burke, and they're gonna get out there. Again, with this tropical storm looming over the East Coast, it's going to be very difficult in a lot of these games. Weather may be a factor in this one if it's going to be in Baltimore. Boogie, you can reconfirm that at your leisure. I mean, what are your thoughts, feelings, concerns here, bro?
So we're looking at the injury report. Greg Newsom II is out for Cleveland. Kyrus Jackson and Peter Skoronsky are out for Tennessee. Tennessee has a few more questionable players, but other than Danico Autry being questionable, there's no real impact there. The weather report is showing that weather's not going to be too much of a factor. There's going to be some end zone to end zone winds, but it's going to be a very moderate game, a very moderate temperature. Um, I think you're right about Deshaun Watson. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's not making quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
He looks very confused out there. Um, he made his money in Houston and he made his name in Houston by holding onto the ball and making hero plays. But that just isn't working for him anymore, and he's not working within the structure of the offense, and it makes them look just completely out of sorts. The total on this game is 39 points, so expect a low-scoring affair. Somebody I read on The Athletic said it's probably the team that makes it to 13 first that's going to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
This might end up being like a 20 to 13 affair, very ugly, very nasty to watch. Um, And if we're betting on a team that gets to, a low score early and then just, can run out the
Grind
clock,
it out.
I'm going to take, I'm going to take Tennessee all the way on that one. This might be one of those
100%.
games where Derrick Henry just wears out the admittedly formidable Cleveland Browns defensive line and breaks off a few big runs, and that's it. Curtains for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, 100%, man. Um, all right. Well, speaking of a run game, grinding it out, of course, we have the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson at the Detroit Lions, who are reeling from a loss against the Seahawks, giving it up in the second half. Detroit is favored -3. Boogie. I'll kick this one over to you first. What are you feeling here?
So, looking at the injury report, we got Taylor Decker out, Kirby Joseph out, Emmanuel Mosley, the cornerback, out, and Halapulavati Vaitai out. So they've got some important pieces on the offensive line out. Meanwhile, Falcons have a pretty clean injury report. This game will take place in a dome stadium, so weather will not be a factor here. I think this is a pretty easy answer to me. This is the you take the road dog when the home team is favored -2 or -3. I am going to take the Falcons here. To me, there's too many injuries on the offensive line for the Lions. I think Jared Goff is going to be under a little pressure all game long, and I think Atlanta is going to limit the amount of possessions in this game due to its strong, heavy running game. It's not going to allow as many opportunities for Detroit to hang 30 on this team. And as usual, if Atlanta they can get out 10 points ahead, they can get out 2 possessions ahead. I think they can. I think they can put the Detroit Lions away. And the Detroit Lions defense has not been their strong suit this season, so I don't see how they stop the running attack of the Falcons.
Yeah, no, that's completely true, right? The defense has definitely been a question for these Detroit Lions. Now, Atlanta, when you're talking about Bijan Robinson, I mean, this guy's just fucking special, bro. I went back and watched some highlights here just to see what we were talking about, and the way this guy full speed cuts, plants, and then cuts back the other way, and we're talking full speed, like 200 pounds of raw muscle. Like that is insanity. That's wild, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The real question for me is Desmond Ridder. Like the only person that doesn't look like they have a quarterback in this league. One of the few teams is the Atlanta Falcons. You have Drake London, you have Kyle Pitts. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I mean, I guess if you start running heavy, Detroit's gonna bite with their inexperience, and then you can just hit long post to Pitts or London. But how effective is that going to be? And is Detroit going to be watching and waiting for that? Right? It just shit. It worries me because Detroit is coming off of a pretty scary loss there where they were up. The defense of Atlanta is pretty beast. Oh shit. Okay, give me a. Really? Am I doing this? I don't know. It's hard to bet on Detroit. Atlanta's rolling. Give me Atlanta. Give me Atlanta as well.
All right.
I want Detroit to prove it to me. We'll see if they
prove who they are.
Exactly. Another game where it's got to be a proof who they are. Of course, the New Orleans Saints, who are going to Lambeau Field. Green Bay favored by -1. My God, they have no idea who's going to win. I like
Nasty work.
I like Green Bay here, though, bro. To be honest, I think that New Orleans doesn't really have anything going on. Christian Watson is trending towards playing. Jordan Love looks extremely comfortable back there, slinging it around.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is not the best against the run. We talked about that, which is why they fell to Atlanta late. But New Orleans doesn't really have that ground game. I think Kamara is still suspended, so we're kind of just chilling and waiting on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely going to take Green Bay here. Give me Green Bay all day, and I think they can win by one.
Mm.
What are your thoughts here, bro?
Man, I just hate a 1 point spread game. So looking at the injury report, Bakhtiari is questionable. He did not participate in practice on Friday, but since this is people are suspecting that Bakhtiari is holding himself out of practices for game weeks in which there is turf that he's going to be playing on. But since they're going to be playing at home on Lambeau, on his home turf, and I think the turf is grass, I think he plays. Jair Alexander, an important consideration. He was limited in practice on Friday. He's questionable for the game. Aaron Jones also questionable in limited practice, and Christian Watson you said is trending back upward, but he was also limited practice and questionable for the game. Meanwhile, Jamal Williams is out for the New Orleans Saints. As far as the weather goes, it's going to be very cloudy but comfortable temperatures. They're saying that winds are going to be blowing diagonally on the field, which may result in inaccurate passes and missed kicks. Um, I just hate a -1 spread. It's just
Yeah,
they don't know who to pick. Just do a pick 'em if you're going to do this. And as for me, just to maintain parity, I am going to do a pick 'em on this one. Um, you know, Green Bay is ascendant right now, but Derek Carr has something left to prove in this game, and Dennis Allen has to prove that he is not the most wallpaper ass coach in the NFL. So getting a win on the road against a team that still hasn't proved it yet as far as the quarterback goes,
yeah,
especially with some wins that may wreak havoc with his throws and with some injury troubles on the on the Green Bay
sorry.
side.
Thought I
I
was
think
gonna
I'm going to go
sneeze.
with New Orleans. Oh.
thought, thought I was gonna sneeze, but I am not. All right. Just one thing to consider here, okay, for all you betting at home. Remember that New Orleans had to play at Carolina on Monday. They then had to go home to New Orleans and then leave on Thursday to go back to Wisconsin. Okay. So that's limited amount of time to recover. That's limited amount of time for game prep and practice. Okay. So just
Hmm.
a double road game is tough, especially on a short week. That's why I'm taking Green Bay. Okie doke. All right. So
Smart.
next up, we've got Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by -7. Just give me Jacksonville across the board. Houston has not proved that they can do anything. Although the Kansas City Chiefs seemed to give Trevor Lawrence some trouble last week, this is just too. This is too easy. It's too easy. 7.5, whatever. That doesn't seem to matter. Everybody's covered against Houston this year. CJ Stroud has too much on his plate. Yeah, he threw for 400 yards, and that's incredible. I, dude, no way. No way you can. I mean, he'll continue to do it. I shouldn't say there's no way he can't continue to do it, but you can't continue to just rely on, especially, I mean, where the fuck is Damian Pierce been? You got a really, really great running back who did stellar last year with Dougie Mills, and then now I feel like I haven't really heard or seen him this year a lot. So that's really where my concern is for Houston. Jacksonville's got something to prove, dude, especially at home, having back-to-back weeks at home, and you got kind of embarrassed by the Kansas City Chiefs, where you had like 2 or 3 turnovers and just couldn't put points on the board, man. Give me Jacksonville, regardless of the weather. Boogie.
Got it. So, as far as the injury report goes, it seems like half of the Texans' defense is out for this game.
Excellent.
And meanwhile, for the Jaguars, Antonio Johnson, the safety, is out, and Zay Jones is out as well.
Mm.
But Brandon Sheriff is back. He's back at full participation in practice, so no concerns there. As far as the weather goes, it's 88 degrees with a 0% of precipitation. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. And there's only going to be a light breeze. So everything should be on the table for these teams. And with everything being on the table for these teams, Jacksonville is going to view this as a get-right game. They're going to view it as we're going to go home and beat up on our little brother because we got beat up on by somebody bigger than us. We got beat up on by the 8th grader when we were in 4th grade
Yeah, exactly.
last week. So they're going to go home and they're going to go throw their brother into the creek. Give me Jacksonville as well, all the way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, another game that seems way too easy to be true is Miami, who's hosting a reeling Denver Broncos who just can't seem to figure it out, going up 21 to 3 against a Washington Commanders team and letting it all fall apart. Give me Miami here. It's not really much to talk about. This is just as simple as it gets, in my opinion. Boogie?
All right, let me take a look at this injury report real quick just to make sure there's nobody crazy out for this game.
Sure.
The Dolphins have a lot of questionables on the board here, but most of them have full participation in practice on Friday,
Hmm.
so we should be good to go there. As for the Broncos, Frank Clark and Justin Simmons are still out. Meanwhile, it's 85 degrees and 70% chance of rain for the game in
Ooh.
Miami,
Really?
um,
But not in Jacksonville?
but not in Jacksonville. I mean, South Florida and like
Well,
northeast
correct.
corner of
I
Florida.
mean, I get it, but I mean, so how is this system moving? If Baltimore's like up here, is it just kind of doing one of these, and it's just skipping Jacksonville? Like
I I I think
I
it's
don't
more just the
know.
fact it's like the southern half of Florida just is throughout the wet season they're just gonna get like rain once a day every day until the rainy season is over in like
Sure, sure, sure,
October.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see how
Yeah.
it affects the game, but I trust Mostert more than I trust Jamal Williams right now, or Jamal Williams,
Yeah.
Javante
If there's
Williams.
if there's rain delays, if there's lightning delays, I trust the team that's at home, they're comfortable. 85 degrees is a lot for, it's heavy wet air. I think that's going to actually
Yeah.
have an effect on Denver. So I'm
Well,
also going to
that's
take Miami all the way.
yeah.
There's just Miami's got it all in their corner right now, and -6.5 is a great line because they just have to win by a touchdown to win, and I think that's easily within their grasp given
Mhm.
the superior play calling, the superior chemistry, everything.
Yeah, 100%, bro. You want to talk about some chemistry? We got some weird shit going on. Of course, Minnesota, and
Minnesota.
Kirk Cousins, Mr. Pizza Time himself, and JJ the jet plane, hosting Lack and Lodum, Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert with that cannon of an arm, really shooting it down the field to his guys. Man, the bankrupt bowl. I'm going to go ahead and coin this. Both teams are 0-2. Both teams really need to figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if Austin. Give me an injury report real quick. Is Austin Eckler playing?
Austin's out, and
Oh,
Eric Kendricks, the linebacker, is out.
okay.
Bosa questionable.
Really?
Couple of other defensive players, actually three other defensive players questionable. A couple full participations, couple limited participations. So
What about
um,
Minnesota?
as far as Minnesota goes, Davenport, the defensive end, is out. Bradbury's questionable. He's the center. All other players full participation on Friday. They're probably good to go.
Huh. Okay.
Dome, so no weather impact. A 1 point
Yeah.
spread.
It,
Disgusting.
it's a 1 point spread because they don't know what's going to happen. Oof. Okay, Minnesota just got Cam Akers. Their offensive coordinator worked with Cam Akers when he was in LA with Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm so dumb for doing this. Give me Minnesota.
Okay.
Give me Minnesota. Justin Jefferson's going to have a $150 or more. And then really we just got to see if Cam Akers can get off in the ground game. I mean, that's really what we're looking at here. That's the only thing going. I mean, the Chargers are going to come out strong like always and then just kind of give the game away because that's what they love to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. So someone's getting fired after this game. That's all I know, dude. like holy shit, someone is getting fired. Could be said about the Steelers too, but we'll talk about that when we get into
Absolutely.
their snuff game.
I'm trying to figure out what the total is. Is it 51.5? I mean, this is if we want to say that Tennessee versus Cleveland is going to be first to 13 wins the game. For this one, it's going to be the first to 35 wins the game.
Yeah, probably.
Neither of
I would
these
agree with
neither
that.
of these defenses got it going on. I'm especially worried as far as you winning this. I'm worried about the fact that the Chargers defense, despite the fact that their head coach is a specialist at it, looks like dog shit. and Minnesota, if nothing else, will put up buckets out there.
Uh-huh.
Um, for
100%, bro.
parity's sake, and because I believe in Justin Herbert more, and I believe in the fact that they've gotten an offensive coordinator who's supposed to unleash him. And given how poor the Vikings defense has been the last season and a half, I'm going to take the Chargers as well. But this is the bankrupt bowl is just about right.
Yeah, 100%, dude. You want to talk about a team going bankrupt? Let's talk about the New York Jets, who are now filing for Chapter 11 as they host the New England Patriots this weekend in I'm predicting 15-12 kick fest. This shit is going to be awful. Give me New England to win, just because I believe in Belichick more than I believe in whatever Robert Saleh thinks is going on over there. I'm going to take New England to win. I'm going to take New England. Now give
Minus
me.
2.5 is nice.
Ooh, no. Give me the Jets to cover though.
Wow. All right. Actually, also a very smart choice because
it could
we're looking at
it could end up being like fucking 14-13 or 14-12. You know what I'm saying? Or like
I'm gonna bury the lead here a little bit. We're looking at injury report. Tony Adams, the safety, is out for the Jets. Wes Schweitzer, the guard, is out for the Jets. Zerline's questionable.
Nice. Well,
Franklin Myers questionable. Dwayne Brown, the tackle, questionable.
Goodness.
Meanwhile, on the Patriots side, looks like, let's see, Jonathan Jones is still questionable. Steity Sal, Cole Strange, and Trent Brown, all questionable. Those are all offensive line players. A lot of just ticky-tacky injuries. Everybody was limited in practice for the Patriots, but of course, Belichick likes to play games with the injury report. But the biggest part here is that it's going to be rainy. It's going to be 65 and a 78% chance of rain in East Rutherford, thanks to that incipient hurricane. Moderate winds with strong gusts will blow from sideline to sideline, so there's going to be offensive struggles, and crosswinds are going to really impact the kicking game as well. This is going to be fucking ugly.
Could be 9-6.
It could be. You know what? Again, just for parity's sake, because I'd rather have the points here for two teams that are going to struggle mightily on offense and are going to be good to great on defense, especially with the weather conditions being what they are. I'm going to take New York to win and cover on this one.
Wow. Okay. Heard that. A team that definitely has the opportunity to cover here is going to be Washington, who's hosting the Buffalo Bills, who are absolutely rolling right now. Washington and Sam Howell, who's just doing whatever the fuck he wants on the field, throwing the ball wherever he wants, and really getting it done against a Denver defense and a Arizona defense that started strong but ended slow. Fuck. Give me Buffalo. Just give me Buffalo. Right. They're rolling right now.
-6 is a weird line.
It is. I mean, I'm sure there's weather, right? They're in Washington. Is that an open stadium?
That is an open stadium. Let's take a look at the weather for this game. Yep, 66 degrees, 54% chance of rain. Field conditions will be damp because there's going to be heavy rain today. So the FedEx Field, the worst field in the NFL, is going to be soaked. And there's going to be light winds that'll blow diagonally, which will impact the passing game and the kicking game to some extent. And there's scatter showers throughout the game as well, so that'll make the ball nice and slick.
Nice.
If we're looking at the injury report, Bills, everybody fully participated in practice except for Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White, but they have no game status.
Whatever.
Meanwhile, for the Commanders, Curtis Samuel is questionable. Logan Thomas is out. No big injuries there to speak of. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are rolling. What?
I don't know, man. I kind of want to take Washington to cover. They have such a great defensive line. I just don't know.
Yeah, taking 6 points is nice. If Buffalo had a bad week the first week, they have a good week last week. Are they going to land in the middle this week? Meanwhile, Washington's willing to take chances themselves on offense, and their defensive line is pretty damn good. Not as good as Cleveland, but still pretty damn good. I'll probably take Buffalo to win as well. but on no other basis other than getting 6 points is nice. I'm going to take Washington to cover.
Heard that. All right, man. This is going to be an easy one. Of course, Carolina at Seattle. Seattle's favored minus 5.5. Give me that. Bryce Young was hurt last week. Andy Dalton is suiting up this week.
Oh.
So,
yeah, right.
I don't know. Andy Dalton's better than Bryce Young, so it's like one of those things where like, holy shit, do they cover? And we actually get to see what this Carolina team is with someone who understands like how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Or I shouldn't say that because that sounds rude, but I mean it's like Dalton's a veteran, and he's seen defenses, he's seen shit. Bryce Young is not. He's just getting knocked around out here. I mean, he's out with an ankle, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, ankle injury.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just getting tossed around back there like a little boy. Oh, shit. What's the weather looking like? Is it beautiful?
61 degrees, 52% chance of rain. Winds will remain relatively calm.
But it's going to rain.
It's like a literally 50-50 chance of raining.
All right. Yeah, give me Seattle across the board here. He should roll. I think Gino's really finding himself at home against a kind of a rebuild defense. I trust Geno Smith more than I trust Andy Dalton. Yeah. I'm overthinking it. I gotta go with my gut here. Give me Seattle across the board.
Seattle across the board. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. As far as the injury report goes, there are literally 17 players on it for the Seahawks. So it's just a confusing morass as to whether, people are in or out, or, how likely people are to be in for the Seahawks. Meanwhile,
yeah, Pete Carroll's a bullshitter, though.
You got to figure he's a bullshitter. Everybody was full participation for the Panthers except for Bryce Young, who of course is out. Man, and Andy Dalton. How do we feel about garbage time touchdowns, garbage time points from Andy Dalton? How likely is that to happen, especially with this Panthers team? I mean, are the Seahawks are 3 of their players going to literally explode on the field? And, Dalton's going to be able to get some easy completions because this is a long injury list for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Pete Carroll's a bullshitter, though, man. And I just trust what I've seen so far, and Carolina does not look good. Period. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You're putting in your backup quarterback. It's just like, it doesn't matter to me, Another game that really doesn't matter is Dallas at Arizona. Who gave Dallas the easiest schedule to open ever? Who knows? But they're going to continue to roll here. Give me Dallas across the board, even at minus 13. It's absolutely ridiculous, but whatever, dude. They've been beating teams by 30 points every game, so.
Yeah, it's hard not to see them continuing the trend this time around. The only notable injury for this game is that Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL.
Yeah, during practice of all things. It's just goodness.
It's tough.
Talking about playoffs. Yeah, give me a... Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one, bro. This is Dallas across the board. The next one's just as easy.
Yeah, I'll take Dallas across the board as well. I don't see how
there's nothing
the Cardinals can push them.
There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about here either. Chicago doesn't know what an offense is, so give me Kansas City. Minus 12.5. That's easy as well. That's just too much in my opinion. Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
I'm going to take a quick glance at what we're looking at. Clear skies, and then for the injury report for everybody, it's nothing too crazy. Nothing that's gonna tip the game one way or another. I think I'll take Kansas City to win as well. I mean, until the Chicago Bears can prove they can be more than the 10 or 14 point offense, there's just nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
Kansas
exactly.
City's gonna find their rhythm here.
Yeah, they're just gonna roll it home. I mean, this is pretty paltry 4 o'clock games here. They're all
Hmm.
feel very one sided in my opinion. Um, a game that doesn't really feel so much one sided as more confusing is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders, who are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Las Vegas is favored -2.5, which is highly curious given the way that Pittsburgh's defense has been playing. However, everybody's calling for Matt Canada's job because why wouldn't you? Um, dude can't play. Um, or he can't scheme up an offense. He can't get the ball to Pickens. You know what I'm saying? Which is confusing. Just like we can't get the ball to Chase, but we'll talk about that. Like this is just super confusing, man. Give me shit, dude. There's gonna be a lot of terrible towels in Vegas. You already know that.
That's a good
Um,
traveling team.
yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo and that offense look better than Pittsburgh's offense. But I mean, their defense is just playing okay. Vegas
Don't
can't
forget,
run the ball, which is confusing. Like Josh Jacobs looks terrible. What's
yeah,
up?
and don't forget that Jimmy Garoppolo is just loves to throw just easy balls to the opposing defense. Um, I think this is a game that should maybe have the. I mean, despite the fact that Pittsburgh is 0-2 and they've looked pretty bad throughout these first couple weeks, I feel like the line should be flipped the other way because
Pittsburgh is 1-1, by the way.
I mean,
They won
oh
Monday
yeah,
night against Cleveland.
they had -7 yards in the fourth quarter of that game. They should have lost if only Cleveland didn't shoot themselves. Pittsburgh shot itself in the foot, but Cleveland shot itself in both feet, the knees, and the hip.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Deshaun Watson fumbled through two bad picks. Like it just looked like nobody wanted to play the rest of the game, and that's what concerns me, man. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna see here on Sunday night. Give me, I guess road dog less than 3. Give me Pittsburgh
I've
and
already taken
it,
Pittsburgh money line, so I may just be like trying to talk myself into my possibly poor betting decision. But I think the Pittsburgh defense is great, and at some point, all offseason, Pittsburgh has been talking about how they want to predicate their game on having bruising backs and wearing down the other team. They have Najee Harris, who everybody keeps telling me is he's the answer at running back for the Steelers, and
haven't seen him.
uh, Mister 2 yards in a cloud of dust has not shown me jack shit, but maybe he has one good game this week against a Raiders defense that is like historically drained of talent, and I think Garoppolo's gonna just like a just like a platter of burrata. He's gonna serve up a couple of nice interceptions, nice easy interceptions
Mm-hmm.
um, to the Steelers defense. TJ Watt may be out here and he may get a paw up and grab one himself. So I think -2.5. That's a tough line to take for Pittsburgh, a +2.5, because Las Vegas gets wins by 3 points. That's it, and that's so easy to get to. But I'm taking Pittsburgh here for sure as well.
Heard that, man. I heard some sirens in the background, and somebody definitely needs to call an ambulance because there's about to be a murder on the field, and that's Philadelphia at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, Philadelphia, who is 2-0 off of a couple games where they look like they should have lost in the second half both times. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, riding high against the Chicago Bears team that is awful. And stealing a win at home from a Minnesota team that is also reeling. Philly -5. I'm gonna kick it to you first, Boogie. What do you think here?
Nobody's out on the injury report. It's going to be 85 with a 22 chance of precipitation. Light winds blowing sideline to sideline that shouldn't affect the offense for either side. Um, as far as this goes, I know that Philadelphia's had a brain drain over the past couple of years, but they still have enough dogs on both sides that I think they can match up well to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though the Buccaneers have a sneaky good defense.
Mm-hmm.
That I guess the question for this game is, will Baker Mayfield continue the magic? -5 is such a weird line. I think that might be even more than -6 or -4. I think -5 might be just the weirdest line for any football game you could find in the NFL. I'm inclined to take the Philadelphia Eagles here. Take the sure thing. Um, Bet against the Super Bowl hangover, and bet on Jalen Hurts putting up some numbers here and keeping them comfortably ahead in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Tyler. Let's go Eagles, but I'll take Tampa Bay to cover. This is the
Yeah.
NFC. This is always defense predicated games. They are always close for no reason. And Baker Mayfield strikes me as the type of guy that'll hit Mike Evans or Chris Godwin for a garbage time touchdown, and pull within like 3 or 4, right? So
I forget. Baker Mayfield loves garbage time.
yeah.
Oh my God. All right. I'm switching my vote.
Does. Are you?
Oh yeah. Tampa Bay to cover here.
Heard that.
It's going to be like a 2-point game. It's going to be like 25-23
for
or
no
something.
reason. Yeah. They're going to be up by like 10, and Tampa Bay's just going to drive down the field and throw one up.
They're going to go get themselves 8 points and make this weirdly close for no reason.
Yeah. All right. So, God damn it. The most questionable game of the week, of course, for us, the homies who are rocking the Bengals gear. At least I am. It's got the stuff. Yeah.
Just Norsed up right now.
Norsed up, dude. Got to Norse up here. The Los Angeles Rams, who are at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is favored -3 for some reason, even though they've looked terrible in both games this year. They're still being favored just because of the name Joe Burrow. They will always be favored.
Joey was out there. He was throwing on Friday.
He was throwing on Friday. He was there in practice today, running around. Had a lot of energy.
And late breaking news. You know who was in the building and had on an orange jersey and was talking about maybe being picked up for this weekend? AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron, XFL or USFL MVP. I can't remember which. AJ McCarron. He's back, baby. Let's go. 8 years later.
No.
Better than Browning, better than Sinnett, better than Will Greer. At least he's played some football recently.
I mean, that's true,
at a very successful level.
So is that a telling thing? Are we going to wait to see if he signs a contract? Then we know Joe Burrow's not playing. Is that the idea?
It's so.
There's no reason to have 4 quarterbacks starting. That's ridiculous.
Right. Boyd's of the opinion that Burrow should play. Jamar Chase thinks that Joe isn't at 100% and doesn't want him to play until he is. And I mean, what it really might come down to is if Joe's going to push it. And I think Joe's going to push it. I mean, he wants to play. He wants to be out there. He does.
Joe Burrow loves playing. Dude, we're talking about a guy that tore his ACL and MCL and then was like, fuck this, I'm playing. Like, came back after like 6 or 7 months, which is ridiculous, and then led a team to a Super Bowl, right? So it's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Behind the worst line
He's
ever.
A gamer. He's a gamer.
I mean, yeah, but how bad is this calf, though? That's one thing we don't know. It could be bad. It could also just be, like, sore. Like, we don't know, man. I mean, tweaking a calf, like, that could mean anything. Doctors are out here saying it's dangerous because it's soft tissue and it could affect his Achilles, and I completely respect that. However, if it's almost like you got like fucking just knuckle punched in the, the soleus or the gastrocnemius, and you're just like, ouch, you gave me a little you gave me a little bruise there. Like, is that what it feels like? That's the outlier here, is that we have no idea what he's feeling. So was it sore after the game? I mean, maybe someone punched him in the leg that we didn't see, or like he got kicked or something. And it's like
it's so wild because on his first, and as far as I can remember, his only rollout of the game, he pulls it. And, that was, of course, the last play of the game. So we didn't see how he functioned after that. So it's a complete black box as to how he's actually feeling, how he can actually move, and how he can actually throw.
But did he pull it then? I don't think he did. I don't think that was the rollout where he like jumped over the arm tackles and rolled out. That wasn't the throw to T. Higgins. The throw to T. Higgins was a rollout to the other side of the field. So
was there multiple rollouts and I just missed one? Probably. But the last, I don't know.
So it's like, his first rollout, he rolled toward us, the audience, or wherever the camera is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of threw a ball and missed maybe. I can't remember the play exactly. But the one on T. Higgins, they were both rolling to the same side.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no way he threw across his body.
No,
Well, I
he
mean,
was rolling to the right side to the right corner of the end zone to T Higgins on the very
yeah,
outside.
exactly.
I
And that,
remember that play because it was like right in front of me, but I may have been getting chicken fingers for the first play. I don't know.
yeah, whatever. Who knows? I'm just saying, man. There's a lot of shit here that's just like, fuck, man. I mean, if Burrow plays, we have a chance. If he doesn't play, we're losing. The Rams will throw all over us. And yes, I get it. We have an incredible defense. I get it. I get it. I get it. But the thing is when you have a pared down, um, playbook, especially against a guy like McVay, especially against a Rams team that has 20 people on defense who are playing high energy and playing really, really fast, playing exceptionally well this year, especially against a team like the 49ers, and a sure shit
Mm-hmm.
against a team like Seattle, who also has like a very, very good air and ground attack. Like, you got to think the Rams are going to come in here and just fucking roll us if we're not careful. And we've seen this one too many times. If Burrow plays, shit, it could be a lot closer. I don't know. I mean, he's moving around like he seems to be all right. There's the cryptic riding around in the golf cart with fucking the owner. That's really
They were
weird.
just having a talk. They were having it's because Mike Brown's fucking 89 and he can't stand up to have a talk with somebody, so he has to he has to have all of his conversations with people on the fucking gator.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think that's anything.
I don't think it is either. It's just weird that he chose to do it then, and then Joe Burrow's reactions to what he was saying. I don't know, man. It's always cryptic. It's always weird. Like Kat, my wife, put it best. She was saying that is something like this week has been like fucking Six Flags or something. With the amount of roller coasters that we've been going on as fans of the franchise. And it's wild.
It is.
I tell you what. You know what? Just because I'm going to continue to roll with the homies, and I will always pick them, even if I know we're going to lose. Give me Cincinnati across the board. Joe Burrow plays. We got a chance. Yeah, put it in lowercase.
We're still kind of like about it, so maybe lowercase.
Yeah.
What I figure
but I
is
mean,
that
the Rams are experts at garbage time points. They did it last week, which I thought was really weird. They drove down the field and kicked a field goal instead of just taking a knee, which really makes you wonder, especially when the NFL is sponsored by these sports gambling things. And like, how could you not know what spreads are and shit? You can pretend not to know any of that, but it makes no sense to do that. Like, that's not in your player's interest as a coach.
Right.
Just makes you wonder in regards to the spread, but fuck, I don't know, man. Jamar wants him to sit. I get it. Boyd wants him to play.
Here's my philosophy.
He's listed as questionable, not out, so he's playing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
questionable. It's not even listed as questionable. He's just listed as limited participation in practice.
Oh, he's not listed as questionable?
Nope. But of course, nobody is, because I think they figure they're going to have a Saturday practice, so there'll be one more injury report, or at least a Saturday walkthrough.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, they're at practice right now. That's what I was saying about. I got that thing about him running around out there. With a lot of energy, like high energy this morning, and it's like, that's weird. Was he just doing that because reporters are only allowed in the first 30 minutes of every practice? I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that's kind of like the generalized rule for those of you at home.
Like the public period.
Period. So it's very weird that in the public period yesterday, Joe Burrow chose to like plant on his foot and throw really hard around the field, which is odd because you don't do individual drills at the beginning of practice, but he chose to do that. And then also today he chose to come out and like run around and, with a lot of energy and stuff. It's just like, the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here? Maybe his calf doesn't hurt as bad. I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes beat the Bengals on a fucking rolled ankle that's supposedly the size of a grapefruit or whatever. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
who's to say he won't get a cortisone shot in his calf and just go for it? Yeah. And I mean, here's my philosophy about it, man. We're homers. We love Cincinnati. We think they're gonna be great this year. Even if they're not great this year, even if they can't roll off 14 wins to or 15 wins to close out the season, we still figure that they have a better than even chance of getting like 10-7 on 11-6. So if you bet the Bengals straight up every week, money line, if you go 11-6, you're hitting. Well, if you go 10 and
Yeah.
10-7, you're hitting 58% of your bets. You're making a little money off of that. If they go 11-6, you're making even more money. You're hitting over 60% on that. So if you believe that they can win and they beat the spread every time that they do win, then you're making money. So I mean, there's no reason not to bet them in that case. Over an entire season like we're doing. If you're doing spot bets, that's maybe a different tale. But if you're betting every game like we are, and you're betting a little bit of money, it's a smart thing to go with if you really still believe they can pull out a 10-7 season. A wild card playoff season, which I definitely believe this team is too good not to do, especially as they get more comfortable going into late October, November, December.
I mean, I think we could definitely get a 6 or 7 seed. I mean, I think the 1 is highly improbable. The 4, like the 3 or the 4, is highly improbable. I could see us getting a 6 or 7 and just going on the road and doing our thing like we have every fucking year. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
See it too.
Well, shit. Let's get down to these props then, okay? You got our bets, you got our feedback. Let's get down to these props. I definitely think someone's getting fired this weekend. Go ahead and throw it up. It's week 3. We love knee-jerk reactions in the NFL. Give me, somebody. Whether
somebody gets
now. See, this is tough because a player could get cut and dismissed. Like we did with Lyle Collins. Does that count here? Is that fair? Or is it like coaching staff or front office gets fired?
So I think we trust each other. This isn't you putting a ticket into the window at Las Vegas. I think we can trust each other, and it's somebody of a reasonable status can be our standard here. So a head coach, a GM, a quarterback gets sat. I think that's
okay. Quarterback getting sat.
Okay, maybe
that's tough.
I'm not gonna say. Man, that is tough. Okay, a head coach or a very notable coordinator, or
how about
the GM being fired?
Coaching team in front office.
Okay, someone from coach staff or front office gets shit canned. I don't know how to spell shit canned, apparently.
Shajati, shit canned. Nice.
There we go.
All right, Book.
I'm going to go very simple here. This Tennessee-Cleveland game is going to be the snoozer this week. I might actually go with a couple props here. I think it's, even though the line is so low at around like 39-ish, I think this game goes under that. It's going to be like a 2017 affair. So I think take the under on Tennessee at Cleveland. Let me take a look at the line real quick. I do believe it's 39 or like 39 and a half. Kind of split evenly. I think either way, I'll even go 39 and a half. I think you take that bet, and Chargers at Vikings is at 54 and a half.
54, really?
Yeah, that's I think the highest line that we've seen thus far this season. Is there any other lines that are nice and juicy to take advantage of here as far as totals go? Not really.
Cowboys, Cardinals.
I think this is Cowboys, Cardinals. What is the Cowboys, Cardinals?
They're at 43, and Dallas has been scoring 40. That's a tough one. Like, are the Cardinals going to get 3? Is Dallas going to put up 45?
When you're relying on one team to make your total, just bet that team's total. Bet they're over. Like, looking at this, they think, if they've got like a 30-point team total, maybe bet that, but I wouldn't bet a total off of one team's performance. It's just not a good philosophy, because if you think the other team's going to get shut out, then or they're going to get like 7 points, 9 points. It's a long road to hoe for the other team.
Yeah, what about New England? It's one we haven't talked about. New England and the Jets.
That's
36. 36.
With the weather, with how dysfunctional the offenses are, and how functional the defenses are. That's
hammer the under on that.
Mm-hmm. I am going to take the over as a prop on that Chargers Minnesota game, because I do think both teams are going to get to 30, so we're going to say over 54.5. I think that's probably the spiciest of all of these. If you're going to take over
unders, have to get 28, right? I mean, that's really all they have to do. 27 to 28 gets you there.
Yep. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. But definitely the two unders we mentioned are the move this week. Bet $10 on that, make you $19 and move on with your day.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, shit, Boogie. Is there anything else you'd like to add, man, before we wrap up our week 3 bets here?
I'm loving it. Nope, I don't think I have anything this week. Do you have any questions or any comments or concerns you would like to put out there, my friend?
Yeah, so Bengals lose this week, then what? Like, let's say Joe Burrow plays and we still lose. What happens? Do we sit him through the bye? I mean, our season's tough, right? It's tough sledding. The Bengals can do it. If there's any team out there that can do it, it's the Bengals, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, 0-3, man. I mean, same with Minnesota or the Chargers. They go 0-3. Denver's going 0-3. Russ is his job's done. I think that should be included in those props there. If Denver loses, Russ might get benched. Does that count as him getting fired? I mean, I feel like we'll discuss it because he's clearly the starter.
Denver QB depth chart right now. ESPN says
they have Stidham.
Mm-hmm. Man, that guy's
he's good.
Look,
he's really good.
The fact that he got cut from the Patriots, who just have nothing going on at quarterback right now, is wild to me.
He didn't. He got traded from.
Las
Vegas. Yeah. Oh. Or he didn't get traded. He was in Las Vegas last year.
Okay.
And he played really well. He put up 34 on the Chiefs, who almost lost in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's looking wild out here. I mean, we do love knee jerks, but things have looked sluggish for so many teams starting out this year that I could definitely see this being like a very contentious year for team QB and team coach relations. I could definitely see Russell getting canned. I mean, Sean Payton's not going to blame himself for this, so he's gonna throw Russ under the bus, especially after his off-season comments where he told Russ he needs to stop fucking kissing babies and start playing some fucking ball.
Yeah, 100%. I don't blame him there. That's honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, shit, man. I guess we'll see. We'll see it all tomorrow morning, starting at 11 a.m. my time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Boogie, dude, always a pleasure. From one too dope bro to another. Y'all enjoy the rest of this beautiful weekend. We'll catch you in the next week. Peace.
Hoo day, baby.
Hoo day.